Is everybody okay? Are you having a good time? Is there anything I can do to help? Jim McDonough is my father. And if you spend any time at all with him, you'll probably have heard him say those three questions to you in some form or another. My dad likes to help people. And today, I want to talk about how my dad helps people through when he was in the Army, through his career in the fire department, and then his everyday life. My dad was 19 years old when he got drafted into the military. When he was in the Army, he got sent over to Vietnam. Those kids had each other. They took care of each other. One particular day, my dad was in a firefight and he got shot in the elbow. After he got shot, he saw one of his buddies get shot. His legs got all shot up. My dad, even though he was wounded, went out into the field, grabbed his buddy, threw him over his shoulder, and made it to the helicopter. My dad was there to help him out that day. And now that I told you a little story about when my dad was in the Army, I want to talk about when he was in the fire service. My dad spent 28 years on the Minneapolis Fire Department. Most of those years were at Station 8, the busiest station in the city. When people call 911, it's the worst day of their life. My dad responded to a particular 911 call where a person had poured gasoline on themselves in order to light themselves on fire, try to kill themselves. When my dad responded there, the fire was out and the patient needed medical care. My dad went down to give him care, and he could see that he was still alive. And although his skin was burned and it was dripping and his face was all burned, the guy was able to say, "Am I going to be ugly?" And my dad lightheartedly said, "Well, what did you look like before this?" And the guy, even though he was in such pain on his worst day, was able to smile a little bit. And my dad brought joy to that guy, even for a second, on the worst day of his life. That was another way that he helped people. Now that I told you a little bit about what my dad did in the fire service, I want to talk about what he does in his everyday life. Now, I'm sure we all have a lot of stories about some cool things my dad has done to help everybody out. One of them that comes to mind for me is when we were all at the lake cabin. There was a bunch of family and friends there, and I think we must have had, 30 people, and probably got them all into two cars. We were going out to the local restaurant pub. It was a Zorba's. And we all wanted to spend the evening there having a good time. And there was a handful of us that weren't 21, and they wouldn't let us in. So somebody went and got my dad, told him that we weren't getting in. He came outside to the fenced-in area out back, and he lifted each one of us over the fence and got us in so we could go to Zorba's for the evening. And so we all had a good time. He was taking care of us. So now I've talked about three ways that my dad has been able to take care of us. His time in the Army, his 28 years on the fire department, and then also his everyday life. He has countless situations. One of my favorite quotes is by Sally Cook, and it states, "Great opportunities to help others seldom come, but small ones surround us daily." And I think that really speaks to the way my dad lives his life and the way we all could live our lives. So, Bonnie, what I want to say to you today is welcome to the family, and you have somebody as a wonderful companion for the next part of your journey. And he's going to make sure that you are okay, that you're having a good time, and that everything's going to be taken care of. Congratulations, you two.